Welcome to a deep dive. It's going to be into the life of a man named Francis Davenport. He lived in 17th century England,
Okay.
and it was a time of some serious religious turmoil.
Yeah.
And his story has some surprising twists,
Mm.
especially when he ends up playing a key role in the early days of America.
What's interesting is that his story kind of gives us a glimpse into the struggles for religious freedom during that time and how those struggles shaped both England and America.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. We've got some fascinating sources for this deep dive,
Oh, yeah?
including a historical leaflet
Interesting.
about Francis, excerpts from Quaker records,
Okay.
and some information about how the English monarchy dealt with the church.
Wow.
Putting all these sources together, I think, helps us understand not just who Francis was,
Right.
but also the bigger picture of what was going on at the time.
Absolutely.
So let's kind of unpack this,
Oh, yeah.
starting with the situation in England.
Yeah.
It's the 1600s,
Okay.
and anyone who wasn't part of the Church of England.
Was going to have a hard time.
Right. To understand this, you have to remember that the Act of Uniformity was in full swing,
Okay.
which basically meant that everyone had to be Anglican or face the consequences.
It's hard to imagine living in a time when going to the wrong church could get you fined or even imprisoned.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of consequences are we talking about here?
Well, that's where the Quakers come in.
Okay.
They were seen as a radical group because their beliefs were so different from the Church of England. They didn't have clergy or fancy churches,
Right.
and they believed in a direct personal experience with God,
Oh, wow.
which challenged the established order.
One of our sources even mentions tongue boring as a punishment used against Quakers.
Yeah.
It's shocking to think about the lengths they went to
Really is.
suppress different beliefs.
It really shows the lengths to which authorities were willing to go to silence anyone who disagreed.
Wow.
For the Quakers, their faith was deeply personal
Mm.
and unshakable.
And they were prepared to face incredible persecution for it.
So this is the world Francis Davenport is living in.
Yeah.
He's a Quaker
Okay.
living in Whittington, England.
All right.
And we have this incredible account of his house being raided in 1677
Oh, wow.
just for hosting a Quaker meeting.
Really?
He was fined for that.
Wow.
And records show he was fined again for not attending Anglican services.
Oh, my goodness.
It seems like he refused to back down from his beliefs even when it put him in danger.
His story really highlights the very real risks that people faced because of their faith.
Right.
It wasn't just an abstract debate.
Mhm.
This is about families and entire communities.
Yeah.
And their right to live according to their own conscience.
And it seems like all that pressure ultimately led Francis to make a huge decision.
Wow.
He emigrates to America with his family in 1683.
Wow.
We even have a record from the Book of Surveys showing his land purchase in New Jersey,
Interesting.
which feels like holding a piece of his journey.
It's a powerful reminder that for many early settlers,
Yeah.
America offered a new life, free from persecution.
Mhm.
For Francis, it seems that dream was worth the risk of leaving behind everything he knew.
And this is where his story gets even more interesting.
Okay.
The village he settled in was originally called Recklesstown,
Reckless town.
but thanks to his efforts, it got a new name.
Oh, wow.
And that's where we get this incredible connection back to England.
Naming a new community is a significant act.
Yeah,
It's about forging a new identity.
right.
Changing the name from Recklesstown to Chesterfield
Yes,
wasn't just about how it sounded.
Right.
It was about connecting to a sense of place and history.
Mm.
And the fact that Chesterfield in New Jersey was named after the Earl of Chesterfield back in Derbyshire, England,
Yeah.
where Francis was from,
Okay.
creates a fascinating full circle moment.
It's like he brought a little piece of home with him.
Yeah,
But he didn't just settle down quietly in Chesterfield.
he did it.
He became a pillar of the community. Sheriff, justice of the peace, assemblyman, judge.
Wow.
We're talking serious civic engagement here.
It makes you wonder what would inspire someone to take on such a range of responsibilities,
Right.
especially in a young colony still finding its footing.
It's almost like those positions were reflections of core Quaker beliefs, like community service and building a just society.
I see.
It's amazing to think about how those values were put into action in the founding of a new colony.
It does make you wonder about the connection between his faith and his desire to serve.
Right.
It's not just about escaping persecution. It's about actively shaping a new future.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges Francis faced, his
Yeah.
decision to emigrate, and his remarkable level of involvement in Chesterfield.
Right.
But what about his legacy? What lasting impact did this one man's life have? We left off talking about Francis's incredible level of civic engagement in Chesterfield, New Jersey. He really was a one-man government.
It's interesting because uh, we don't have a lot of personal details about Francis's life, like diaries or
All
letters,
right.
but we can learn about him through official records and
Ah,
historical accounts.
right.
And what we see is someone who's dedicated to the practical matters of building a community.
It's like we're following his footprints through history.
Yeah.
A land purchase here, a court record there, a mention in a town charter.
Hmm.
And those footprints paint a picture of someone who wasn't afraid to roll up his sleeves and work for what he believed in.
That's a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Francis wasn't just someone who had beliefs.
Right.
He was someone who took action and worked to shape the world around him.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the key takeaways from his story.
Right.
Faith isn't just about what you believe.
Yeah.
It's about how you live out those beliefs.
Yeah. It's like the saying, actions speak louder than words. And Francis's actions definitely show his commitment to his community and his vision for a just and equitable society. We also can't forget that fascinating detail about Chesterfield's name change. That connection back to England, back to the Earl of Chesterfield, adds another layer to Francis's story.
It does. It suggests that even as he was building a new life in America,
Right.
a part of him was still connected to his roots. Naming the town after a prominent English figure
Yeah.
could have been a way of asserting legitimacy,
Okay.
a way of saying we may be different, we may not agree with the way things were done back in England, but we're not outcasts. We're part of something larger.
It's like he's building a bridge between two worlds, the old and the new, England and America.
Yeah.
And through that bridge, he's bringing together different ideas, different experiences,
Right.
and shaping something entirely unique.
I see.
So we've talked about the challenges Francis faced, his journey to America, his contributions to his community.
Yeah.
But what about his legacy? What's the lasting impact of this one man's life?
That's a great question. And I think the answer goes beyond the specific things he accomplished.
Right.
It's about the example he set.
Yeah.
His story is a testament to the power of individual courage, conviction, and action. He shows us that even when things are incredibly difficult,
Right.
it's possible to stand up for what you believe in,
Yeah.
to seek out a better life, and to leave a positive mark on the world.
It's inspiring. It makes you wonder what seemingly small events or decisions in our own lives might have a ripple effect on the future.
Right.
What kind of legacy are we building each and every day?
Exactly. Francis's story reminds us that history isn't just about major events and famous people.
Right.
It's also about all the individuals who, through their choices and actions, shape the world we live in. And that's a powerful thought to carry with us.
Yeah. We did mention one detail about Francis that we haven't really touched on yet. And it's a bit of a funny one. Apparently, there's a tradition that claims he was the inspiration for the character Pooh Bah in Gilbert and Sullivan's opera, The Mikado.
Oh, yeah. The Pooh Bah of Chesterfield, as some have called him.
It's a whimsical connection.
It is.
But it does highlight all those different roles he held in his community.
And maybe in a way, it speaks to how some individuals end up with so many titles and positions.
It's a good reminder that even the most serious figures in history can have a lighter side. And sometimes a little humor can help us connect with the past in unexpected ways.
Absolutely.
So we've explored Francis's life from his early days in England to his incredible journey to America and his impact on Chesterfield.
Yeah,
But there's one final piece of the puzzle we need to address.
you're right. We can't talk about Francis without talking about the Quakers themselves.
Right.
His story is part of the bigger story of the Quaker movement, their fight for religious freedom, and their contributions to both England and America.
Now, you might be wondering about the broader context here. Who were the Quakers as a whole, and what impact did they have?
Right.
Well, let's dive into that in part 3. We've been tracing the incredible journey of Francis Davenport, a 17th century Quaker who fled religious persecution in England and went on to help build a new life in America.
And as we've seen, his story is deeply intertwined with the broader story of the Quakers.
So let's shift our focus now to this fascinating and often misunderstood religious group.
What?
Who were the Quakers and what made them so different from the mainstream churches of their time?
The Quakers, or as they called themselves, the Religious Society of Friends, emerged in England in the mid-1600s. They really were revolutionaries when it came to their faith.
We touched on this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing how much they challenged the status quo.
Right.
No clergy, no fancy churches, no elaborate rituals.
Yeah.
Their meetings were simply about silence and waiting upon the inner light of God's Spirit.
Right.
It seems like such a contrast to the way most churches operated.
That's right. They believed that everyone had direct access to God without the need for intermediaries or elaborate ceremonies. This idea of personal experience and spiritual equality was incredibly radical for that time.
It was a time when social hierarchy was deeply ingrained,
Right.
and the Church of England was very much a part of that hierarchy.
Absolutely.
Their egalitarian beliefs,
Yeah.
this idea that everyone has direct access to God,
Right.
that had to be really unsettling to those in power,
I see.
both in the church and the government.
Yeah.
Do you think that's what made them so threatening?
It's certainly possible. Their refusal to swear oaths, pay tithes to the Church of England, and participate in military service also put them at odds with the authorities.
Yeah.
And as we've seen with Francis's story, the consequences could be severe.
It's hard to imagine that something as simple as holding a meeting in your home could land you in trouble.
I know.
But the Quakers persevered, and their commitment to peace, equality, and social justice ended up having a profound impact on both sides of the Atlantic.
They were instrumental in pushing for reforms like the abolition of slavery and the improvement of prison conditions in England. And in America, they played a key role in shaping the early colonies,
Right.
especially Pennsylvania, which was founded by William Penn, a prominent Quaker.
It makes you think about how their experiences in England shaped their approach to building a new society in America.
Yeah.
Having faced intolerance themselves, they were deeply committed to religious freedom and tolerance for others.
And you see that commitment reflected in the founding documents of the United States.
Right.
The idea of freedom of conscience, the separation of church and state, these are principles that the Quakers championed long before they were enshrined in the Constitution.
So from this small persecuted group emerged ideas that would have a lasting impact on the course of history.
Exactly.
It's a testament to the power of ideas and the courage of those who stand up for what they believe in, even when it's unpopular or dangerous.
It's a reminder that history is full of surprises.
It is.
Who would have imagined that a group of people who met in silence and refused to fight would end up having such a profound impact on the world?
It's a reminder that sometimes the quietest voices can spark the greatest change.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the life of Francis Davenport and the legacy of the Quakers, what's the final takeaway for our listener?
I think it's this. Individual lives matter. Seemingly ordinary people can have extraordinary impact. The choices we make, the actions we take, can ripple out and shape the world in ways we may never fully comprehend.
Francis's story is a great example of that. He was a man of deep conviction who faced immense challenges with courage and determination. And through his life, we see the power of faith, the importance of community, and the enduring legacy of the Quaker movement.
So as you go about your day, remember the story of Francis Davenport. Remember the Quakers, and remember that you too have the power to make a difference. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.